Hi students. So in the previous session we have discussed about the other chapter, that is algebraic expressions and identities. I hope you understood how to use the identities and all. Today we are going to discuss the other topic. So you have to guess the topic. So I'll give clues to guess the topic. Some people have the different types of habit. Singing songs. When singing songs, they collect the variety of the songs. And reading books. So they collect the reading books. When they are reading, they collect n number of books. Many number of books. So many number of books they collect. So here, reading books, the habit. Collecting the books for reading. Collecting, the word, you underline the word collecting. Collecting. Now, collecting. Again, marks. Collecting the marks of your class students. Collecting marks of your students. Collecting the coins. So, these are collecting, a word. So, with the clue collecting, can you guess the topic? Yes. What do you call collecting? So what we are collecting, that a specific word is there. The word information which we collect is called data. What do you call that? Data. The information which you collected is called data. That data we are handling in a proper manner. For what purpose you are collecting? To handle it in a different manner. For what purpose? The data which you collect for a cause, definite cause. There must be a meaning. So, when you are collecting the information for a definite cause means even government, central government of India will collect every 10 years the census, that is a population. So, there they are collecting, they will organize the data after collection. How many members are there in the family? How many boys and girls are there? How many newborn child? How many employees are there, whether government or private employee, and how many facilities, what are the minimum facilities you people have, whether two-wheeler or four-wheeler, these all they will update, they will write the information when they come to your house, door to door. So every 10 years this work will be done. So this information for collecting a definite cause. What is the definite cause? Through that they will analyze the data, they will analyze. So, for a definite cause when they are collecting, that is called collection of the data. So, can you guess the topic? Yes, the topic is data handling. Data handling. So, that is data handling. For a definite cause you are taking, for a definite cause. So, after collection of the data, organizing the data. So, just now I said, collecting two-wheeler, four-wheeler, minimum cylinder, like minimum facilities, cylinder, whether they have the facility of gas and they are using the fridge or not. So this they will segregate. Then based on that they decide. What are the minimum facilities must be for a common man. So this is called collection of the data, organizing the data in a proper manner, that if you organize the data, it will be easy to other people to understand. It will be easy for the other people to understand. Now the same, that data will interpretation of the data through the different types of forms we can represent the data. That are, so far you learned representation of the data which we collect. So collection of the data, organizing the data, then analyzing the data, interpretation of the data. These are the main things. Collection of the data, organizing the data, then analyzing the data, interpretation of the data. Data will interpretation means will represent, visually we represent. So visually how to represent that, in the previous sessions we have discussed how to represent. Can anyone say? Yes. One is pictograph, then bar graph, double bar graph, pictograph, bar graph, double bar graph. Then in this session you will be going to learn about histogram also. Did you learn in class 7 histogram? Okay. So pictograph, bar graph, double bar graph, then again histogram. This is the way of visually we can represent the collected information. Collected information. Let us see what are those. Let us see what are those. Here, now you are seeing this is pictograph. What is this? Pictograph. So pictograph, pictorial representation of data using symbols. Pictorial representation of data using symbols is called pictograph. So in the pictograph, key is very important. That is one symbol represent 100 cars. 100 cars. This is pictograph. This so far you have learned from class 5th onwards. You are learning about the pictograph. Then the pictograph, that is one way of representing the collected information. One way of representing collected information. Now we see that bar graph. You see here, bar graph. A bar graph is, it displays the information using the bars of uniform width, their heights being proportional to the respective values. So here on x-axis, are you able to see the graph? Yes, this is the bar graph. See, between the bars there is a space. Uniform width. So this type of representation we call it as bar graph. What do you call? Bar graph. So in the bar graph, which you have discussed in the earlier classes we have discussed. So bar graph, this is the representation. So on x-axis, horizontal line is called x-axis and the vertical line is called y-axis. So uniform width will be there between the bars, rectangular bars. And here the information, and here frequency. What is the word frequency? How many times that particular entry occurs? That is called frequency. What do you call? Frequency. So pictograph, through pictures we represent. Bar graph using the rectangular bars with uniform width between the bars, that is called bar graph. So bar graph, the heights of the bars will be proportionate to the values or the frequencies which is given, proportional to the respective values. Now we see double bar graph. Double bar graph is useful to compare between maybe the marks, or see, this is a double bar graph. Are you able to see the double bar graph here? Double bar graph. So it is one color, one is shaded with another one is not shaded. Between the bars there must be uniform width, and this way of representation, this is called which one? Double bar graph. This is called double bar graph. Double bar graph. So a bar graph showing two sets of data simultaneously. At a time we show two different to comparison, maybe years, in the years manufacturing the cars, or the marks of two sections or marks of two subjects. For that we use double bar graph. This is how we represent double bar graph. Now the double bar graph. So in this, organizing the data and analyzing the data, interpretation of the data. So data which you collect, that is called collection of the data, and the data which you will be representing, the organizing and analyzing. So representation, one is pictograph, bar graph, double bar graph. Now in this, we mostly see that what exactly frequency. Frequency is nothing but how many times that particular value occurs. are repeated. Suppose in your class there are 10 students are getting, like suppose if I ask 5, 7 out of 10 in a science examination marks, if I take 8, 9, 7, 8, 5. Now you see how many times that 5 marks 5, how many people are getting? 5 is getting 2 times they are getting. 7, how many times they are getting? 7 marks 2 times. 8 marks, how many people are getting? 2 children. 9 marks they are getting 1. So this is organizing in a particular way, in a manner, in a systematic way, we organize the data. So this here, the value which is repeating, 5 is occurring 2 times, 7 is occurring 2 times, 8 is occurring 2 times, 9 is occurring 1 time. These are called frequencies. What do you call? Frequencies. What do you call? Frequencies. The word is frequency. Frequency. The word is frequency. Then, so this is the same information can be represented by using tally marks. So that tally marks we convert, that will be easy to understand the data. That will be easy to understand the data. Easy to understand means, suppose if I collect the data, how many people, the blood groups of a people. Look at the board. So blood groups of people in a certain locality, A, B, then B, O, A, B, O, B, A, B. Observe it. Now, this is enough, the data. This is the blood groups of a certain people in a colony. So, how to represent this? By using tally marks. By using tally marks. So, here, blood group, this one, and then tally marks, frequency. So here, observe it carefully, blood group. First, if you take A, blood group A, how many are there? 1, I am crossing out, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 people. You see here how to represent tally marks. 1, 2, 3, 4. After 4, because it will be easy to count in 5s, so tally marks, once 4 is done, then this cross line indicates, this group indicates as 5. Then 6. So 6 people are there. Now B, you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, cross out, that will represent 5. So 5. Next, blood group O, how many people are having? O, 1, 2, 3. So that is 1, 2, 3. So 3 people are there. Now you see, check out this. How many samples we collected? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So if we add this total, you are getting as 14 total. So sometimes you may be doing here and there, you may miss chances by counting. So you must be careful while preparing tally marks. A, blood group A, how many people are there? Why we are crossing out? So it will be easy to count. It will be easy to count in 5. So this group represents 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then 6. So total 6. Blood group A is having 6 people. Then B, 1, 2, 3, 4, then 5, cross out. So blood group B is 5. O is 1, 2, 3. This is how we represent tally marks. Then next, we see, in this we are going to discuss again one more thing, that is about class intervals. How to organize? This is a group. It is just organizing the data which is ungrouped data. What do you call such type of data? The ungrouped data. If it comes grouped data, what exactly grouped data? Grouped data. What exactly is grouped data? Suppose, observe it carefully what I am saying again. Grouped data. So out of 50 marks, test is conducted. I asked the marks of the children like in your class. So 30 students are there. 30 students are there in your class. So that out of 30 students, the marks if I collect, that may be subject any marks, it may be out of 25 or whatever it is, are the heights of your class, are weights of your class. Okay, anything data can be considered. Anything data can be considered. Now 10, 11, 8, 9, 5, 19, 20, 21, 30, 31, 32 and 16, 8, 7, 15, 40, 32, 40, 41, 9, 6, 5, 28. So this is enough. Some data. I am just explaining how to convert into. This is the data which we collected. Some definite cause. You may think it is a marks or whatever it is. So how to convert this into group data, which we call it as class intervals. Which we call it as class intervals. So prepare a grouped frequency distribution table by using 0 to 10, 10 to 20, etc. What are these 0 to 10, 10 to 20? 0 to 10, this is a group between 0 to 10. 10 to 20, that is one more group. Like that 20 to 30, 30 to 40. So here, first solution, grouped frequency distribution. These are called class intervals. What do you call? Class intervals. Class intervals. Then, so shortly we write as CI. What do you write? Shortly, class intervals as CI. Class intervals, and then tally marks. Then we write frequency. Observe it carefully. What is the CI full form? Class intervals. Now class intervals are 0 to 10. So 0 to 10, the next 10 to 20, the next 20 to 30, next 30 to 40, next 40 to 50. Why I wrote 40 to 50? Here we are not finding anywhere 50, but we need to write because 0 to 10 meaning is from 0 to 10 you will be counting but not 10. 10 value you will not include in this. Then 10 to 20 you will count 10 in this group but not 20. You will count 20 in this group but not 30. You will count 30 in this group but not 40. You will count 40 in this but not 50. So these are called class intervals. This is lower limit, upper limit. In each class interval have lower limit, upper limit. What do you call? Lower limit, upper limit. 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 So 0 to 10. Between 0 to 10 means we start from 0. We will not count 10 in this group. You see now 0 to 10 here. This is 1. 8, 1. I will cross out with another one. 1. Then 2, 3, Any other place? 4, then 5, then 6, then 7, then 8. Observe it. 1, 2, 3, then 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 between 0 to 10, but we did not count 10 because 10 must be counted in the second group. 10 must be counted in the second group. 10. Next, 10 to 20. Now we will cross out like this. 10 to 20 means 10, 11, 1, 2, then 20 won't be there, 19 will come. 3, then 3 over 4, then 5, 6, that's it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So total 6. Then now 20 to 30. 20 we need to count in this group. So again 1, 2, then anywhere else 2, 3. 28, correct. 1, 2, 3. This is 3. Next. Now 30 we are not counting, we didn't count over here. We need to count in this group. So 1, 2, 3, still any other place? 4. Still any other one? No. 1, 2, 3, 4. So here we are writing 4. Then last one, 40 to 50. 40 we need to count in this, not in this place. So 1, 2. Any other place left over? 1, 2. So this total will give you the total number of the information which we collected. So 8 plus 6, 14, 14 plus 3, 17, plus 4, 21 plus 2, 23, 4 plus 2, 6, 6 plus 3, 9, 9 plus 6, 15, 15 plus 8, 23. You count it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. So, what do you call this one? 0 to 10, 10 to 20 means we are making into groups. So, that's why it is called as grouped data. If you are not making any groups, then that is called ungrouped data. When you are converting into groups, organizing into groups, that is called grouped data. What do you call? Grouped data. So 0 to 10, that he mentioned in the question. Now 0 to 10, 10 to 20, 20 to 30, these are called class intervals. Now you see here in this is lower limits. What do you call? Lower limit and upper limit. Lower limit and upper limit. What is lower limit and what is upper limit? In this 0 to 10, 0 is the lower limit and 10 is the upper limit. Whereas 10 to 20, lower limit is 10 and upper limit is 20. In this lower limit is 20, upper limit is 30. Now one more important thing is class size. Class size means what is the class size of each class, which will give you, how do you get difference between upper limit and lower limit. Difference between upper limit and lower limit will give you the class size. What is the class size here? 10. What is the class size? 10. 20 minus 10, 10. 30 minus 20, 10. 40 minus 30, 10. 50 minus 40, 10. So, difference between the upper limit minus lower limit is called class size. So when you convert into group data, one thing we have to remember, class size, and when it is called, this is continuation data. What do you call this one? Continuous data. What do you call? Continuous data. 0 to 10, 10 to 20, 20 to 30, 30 to 40, 40 to 50. Now, so class size, how to get? Upper limit minus lower limit. How to obtain? Upper limit minus lower limit. Now, I hope you understood how to make tally marks and how to prepare a grouped frequency distribution table. Grouped frequency distribution table. So in this grouped frequency distribution table, what do you call this one? These are called class intervals. What do you call? Class intervals. Tally marks. Frequency. Frequency means how many times that particular entry occurs, how many times it is repeating. That repeated value, how many times we are noting down, that value is called frequency. What do you call that? Frequency. What do you call that? Frequency. Next, we see now frequency. We learned bar graph, then double bar graph, then how to make into group data, what are the lower limits. The another word for the class size, we have another word, that is width of the class. What do you say? Class size. Another form is width of the class. What can you say? Here, width, width, width of the class or class size, both are same. How to obtain? Upper limit minus lower limit. Upper limit minus lower limit is class size. Now we move to the another topic. So bars with difference means, here in this class we are going to learn about histogram. We are going to learn about histogram, how to represent the histogram with a class interval. So this data can be represented histogram as histogram. So in this bars, there will not be any gap between the bars. There will not be any gap between the bars. Bars with differences. Bars with differences means, here this same data we can represent through graphically. But you see here 0 to 10, 10 to 20, 20 to 30, 30 to 40, 40 to 50. This is called histogram. What do you call this one? Histogram. What do you call this one? Histogram. So the histogram, how to represent the histogram? This all. So you in class 7th also, I think you have discussed. We have discussed about the histogram. Now you see how to represent that histogram. Here a small example. This is bars with difference. Bars with difference. This is one way of representing. On x-axis we take the class intervals, on y-axis we take the frequencies. On x-axis we take class intervals, on y-axis we take frequencies. Here one more I will show. Here this is the histogram. What do you call this one? Histogram, which you are seeing now on the screen. That is histogram. So here bars of equal width with no gaps between the bars. There will not be any gap between the bars. That is histogram. Heights of the bars gives the number of data items are in a particular group, and or it is a frequency. So frequency we represent on y-axis, and class intervals we represent on x-axis. And you are seeing a jog line. What in the graph? You are seeing a jog line. A break is given up and down. What is that break? What is that line represents? That line represents there are so many values, but we are not showing. That is called jog line or break line. So the range, now here you see, you need to remember what is the difference between a bar graph and a histogram. So bar graph and histogram, there will not be any gap. Bar graph will contain some gap. Bar graph will contain some gap. Now, so with this, I hope you understood how to make the tally marks and how to represent the data into some group data, how to convert into group data. So here in the exercise 5.1, you have some questions. Exercise 5.1. What is that? Exercise 5.1. Exercise 5.1. So you have the question number 1 means what type of this thing, and the question number 2 is homework, and question number 3 preparation of bar graphs, and then fifth question by seeing the graph you have to answer. By seeing the graph you have to answer. So question number 2, question number 3 and question number 5 you have to finish as homework. I hope you understood in today's session what we have discussed. What is data? What are the forms of representation? Visual representation, that is a pictograph, bar graph, double bar graph and histogram. Histogram will be used to represent the continuous data, that is which are nothing but class intervals 0 to 10, 10 to 20, 20 to 30, 30 to 40, 40 to 50. I just gave example. Each class interval will have lower limit and upper limit. The difference between upper limit and lower limit is called width of the class or class size. Is it clear, children? So pictograph, bar graph, double bar graph, histogram, these are the graphical representations. What do you call? Graphical representation of the given information, so that the observer, the opposite, the client can understand very easily. That is the meaning why we represent through graphically, to understand in the easiest manner. I hope you understood today's session. Thank you.